Okay.
We can.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome all. A couple of forms sign up in the back if anybody wants to do that. Yes, but were you here to say something or you
I saw one of the items was joint meeting with Jervis City Council, and I just wanted to come introduce myself because I'm new to the City Council of Jervis.
Oh, very nice. Oh,
I thought
very good.
come by till the meeting at 7 o'clock.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
Thank you for doing that.
Okay, so the first item of business is the swearing in of the board members or affirming in of the board members. And so Maria has the script and she will pause to allow you to repeat. And when she says, I state your name, please don't say I state my name. You can say your name.
Yes.
And
It's being recorded now.
it is, yeah. And you can all do it at once in chorus.
Oh, we can?
You may.
She can have Rita record it for 5 different times.
Yeah.
Okay, so I state your name. Anna Contreras. Do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the State of Oregon.
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
And the laws thereof.
and the laws thereof,
And the policies of the Jervis School District.
and the policies of the Jervis School District.
During my term,
During my term,
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of the office of school board member to the best of my ability.
the duties of the office of the school board member to the best of my ability.
Well, congratulations.
Board members again.
Okay, a couple of other announcements. Just a reminder that the OSBA Summer Conference is August 8th through the 10th. There is a flyer right behind this agenda page if you're interested in attending all of it or a portion of it. Let Sandra know, we'll get you registered. We have National Night Out is, it's not on here, but I got this finalized with the interim chief of police. His name is Dan for the city of Jervis. It is August 5th. I'm not sure what time it is, but I have Melinda with food services coordinating with the city and the police department and community progress team. We're going to provide the burgers and condiments. And then I'll be there and we'll have, kind of like a poster with a QR code that asks for feedback and how we can, that kind of thing. So it's an opportunity for community to also see. So I will make sure that I send you an email and text message when I get more details on that. So if you have time to stop by, you can do that.
And did you say when?
August 5th
August
is
5th.
that evening.
And Dandy, I just got something in the mail about it too,
Okay.
like that obviously the city
Yeah.
council has sent out.
Yeah.
So, and it
Okay.
was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, that's very
I
nice.
just can't remember the time either.
Right,
It was
I
on
think-
there, but
yeah.
maybe it was save the date type.
Yeah. So more to come on that. On August 25th and 26th, we're going to have a guest speaker. So we got a grant to pay for this person to come in the evening and do a community presentation for parents and stakeholders. We're getting a PR flyer put together. We'll mail it out first part of August. That has the who, what, when, where, why, how. But the message for both audiences, both in the evening and in the morning, the next day with our staff in service, is the importance of making connections with your students and how parents or guardians can help their students be connected to school, because it's really all a part of the big attendance push that we're having for the coming year and the necessity of let's leave COVID behind now. It's time to come back to school and be ready to learn and participate. And so we'll also be sharing with staff with the number one indicator of kids coming to school. The first part is because they come from teachers. They enjoy that relationship and feel that that's beneficial, but then also that they're engaged in their work. So that's gonna be a big push. So more to come on that. We're really excited about that grant that we received, and then he makes his way down the I-5 corridor, and then on the 27th, he's speaking in Phoenix County. So, some of the admin have seen him before, and so we selected out a group of potential speakers, and they liked him the best. And then just as an FYI, more to come on this, but get it on your calendar. September 10th will be the Golden Shovel Brigade, is what I'm going to call it.
Wow.
Where that's the night of the Bond Advisory Committee meeting, the first one, but I would like to invite board members to also come to the groundbreaking ceremony that we're gonna have over there at the middle school. And there'll be more details on that. I don't know exactly what time it's gonna be or any of that, but we'll have gold shovels. Okay,
What?
September 10th. And then September 13th,
Also out.
that is the opening ceremony or whatever you want to call it for our turf football field. So there'll be a whole ribbon cutting and yay, we're part of the 21st century. So, very exciting. And that's the only announcements I have.
Approval of minutes.
I don't think we have.
Oh, there were no minutes for this meeting.
That's right.
Sandra will have those available for you at your August.
Exactly, going along here just fine. James, did you want to say something? Or just introduce yourself?
I just wanted to introduce myself because I'm still new to the role and everything,
Okay.
so,
Well, very nice. I don't remember ever having a city council person here.
I only showed up because I received the email about the council meeting and I was looking through all the agenda items and I was like, maybe a way to get that bond together between the
We
board
love that song. We love
and
that
city
type of
council.
talk. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you.
Plus I got a kid attending for the next 12 years.
Oh.
Oh, we missed that.
That's great.
Little skin of the game, man. Very good.
Cool, ULD.
Okay, our report.
We have no student council people here.
Wow.
Sorry.
Imagine that.
They're playing. And the only other person besides myself, Karen, so come on up, Karen. Yeah, you're it.
Well, I did something, a little different at the end of the year because we're not finalized with end of June and there really isn't anything to speak of in July yet. So I did some comparisons and it's on page 12. So if you want to take a look at that and, we've been kind of talking about the, impact of Paid Oregon. And so the sub cost was kind of an interesting one. This is all funds for the sub cost. And you can see that increase. Now there is some level of an offset because some of the staff are taking unpaid leave because we kind of balance out the Paid Oregon with unpaid leave. But it doesn't equate to that difference, but there is a level of offset on that. Then the next item is the staffing cost, and this is just the general fund. And you see 22-23 to 23-24, there was a moderate increase of 316,000. But 24-25, that increase bumped up quite a bit at 1.24 million. And that's not only the raises, which keep kind of compounding on it themselves, but also we were supplementing somewhat with ESSER funds, and those ESSER funds are now gone. So that's kind of an impact to it as well. You see supplies and equipment, that was very stable. There was nothing, we still have some coming in for 24-25, but that's pretty reasonable and normal. Purchase services was a little higher, but not too bad overall. And then the other category is just kind of the 600 object, and there was no great, increase in that. But I just want to kind of, lay those out for you kind of as a 3-year compare.
Karen, do you want to explain for Leah since she
Yes.
knew what a 600 object is?
So we divide our, the way we spend into different object codes. Object code is what is really happening. So Our 100s are our actual salary related costs. Our 200s are our benefits, those salaries. Our 300s are purchase services. So it could be transportation is considered a purchase services. Our subs that we hire are purchase services. And then if we contract out and bring somebody into the school district, that's purchase services. Variety of things like that in the purchase services. Okay. And our 400 is our supplies and equipment. Those all fall under object 400. 500 is a capital expenditure. And 600 is just kind of a other catch-all. We do kind of our debt payments go out into a 600, our insurance payments, and then just kind of some miscellaneous fees. So I can give you a little bit of something at the next meeting to kind of give you a general overlay of some of those
Sure,
types
that'd
of
be great.
things you'll see. Okay, thank you. All right, and then down at the bottom, each year we transfer out of the general fund into a few select funds. And this 248 is our insurance reserve. We came to realize we need to have money sitting in an insurance reserve for the insurance claims that seem to be a regular occurrence. Hopefully now we have these new roofs, they won't be so active. So you can see it, 22, 23, nothing. 23, 24, we put 5,000. 24, 25, we put 20,000 in, and next page we'll talk about that part. And so then in the next two columns are the athletics, and we used to do 261 was all high school, 262 is all middle school, but it included the stipend payments for our coaches, which for the athletic department was hard for them to control that portion because they didn't exactly know how it was going to fall in. And we wanted to give them a very concrete budget to work with so that they stay within the budget. And so 261 became athletics, middle school and high school, and 262 became athletic stipends. And so that was a change going into 24, 25. So you can kind of see how it laid out the prior 2 years. Like if you looked at 22, 23, the total between the two funds was 246,000 we transferred in for athletics. 24, 25, that total is 332,000. And I will say that they used it all up. So they might have even used a little beyond that. So we're still.
But that's because we went to state.
I know, we went to
That
state.
was-
Track, baseball, football.
Yes, yes. So we're trying to always watch that. We don't want them to just go all wild and buy new uniforms every year. But we also, don't want to stifle the programs because we feel like we have pretty good athletic programs going on.
Very good.
And food service, we've been setting aside a decent amount in the budget to transfer over, but we haven't needed to transfer much. And these amounts that you see transferred, the 4788, 6,000, and then the 5,679, that is a required transfer. So at the end of each year, I get this lunch match figure that the state comes up with and says, from your general fund, you need to transfer this much in to food service. And so I have to do that. I can prove that I did that and send them, the proof to back up for it. But they have been positive. They're not going negative. And I feel like it's all that summer program. If they were just running the regular year program, they would be going in the hole. They run that summer program, and it really is kind of a little bit of a cash cow for the food service program. It's very successful.
It's unbelievable how much food they're distributing up just on Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And part of it is good, right?
Yeah.
But it also
It
then
is.
reflects the need
The
that's
need
out
that's
there,
out there.
and the
Yeah.
hunger issues that our community faces.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You should stop in the high school cafeteria. It's like COVID all over again. Meal deliveries.
Oh, oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
And yeah. There's a
Oh,
little bit of
wow.
flashback happening.
Very successful.
No, we just haul it out into the parking lot under the quick shade tent.
Oh, that's what those things are.
And
out there for,
drive
so people
through
go
and-
through.
Oh, wow.
All right.
I know Melinda's always stopping by. I made 32,000. I'm like, okay, but you did have a few expenditures. Anyway, let's say, now the next one down is our energy project. So that energy project we transfer in, and the reason that 22-23 was 0 is because there was enough sitting in that account that particular year to not need to transfer any in from the general fund. And then what you see going in there each year is pretty much the, most of the payment that goes to them. So that's why it was a low year that one year. And then the consolidated loan is the other place that we bring them into. And so 22-23, we transferred it about 500,000, and 24-25, 668, 679. All right, we'll go to the next page, page 13. And once again, we're taking a look at our facilities funds, because this is important with all of the activities we have going on and kind of knowing where we're sitting in these. So that facilities rental fund, that is just people renting the buildings, and they've been kind of using that for some different repairs, but now we're kind of holding on to it a little bit because it's also where we have designated those bond tax relief grant payments to come from.
Yeah.
So because we said we go up to a certain amount, we're keeping it kind of built up. As for a note, we had 2 applicants this year, 2 payments, $200, so $400. That's all we have been out of there for that.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, it's kind of a surprise. We were expecting a little more, but that is
Yeah.
all that we had.
So they can't apply anymore, or they can, or what?
They can every year.
Every
Oh,
year.
every year there's
For
an
the
open
for the
time
current
frame.
year.
Yeah.
Pay for the product.
Up to $200.
And she's sent out flyers. to
Yeah.
the community
Email
on it,
going to every
so,
household.
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't like just kept under the rug. We don't want to fly.
We talked
It went-
about it,
Yeah.
the bond thing, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one down is the Midco and Frontier Charter Rental. So each of them rent part of Pioneer. And so we're kind of, watching. Now we didn't have that separated. So we've separated that out as a separate item. And when we talk about that insurance claim, we'll see why that comes in handy. And then, of course, our building proceed fund balances, and that has gone down, a little bit from 22-23, and that biggest jump is from 22-23 to 23-24, and that was all associated with bond situations, trying to get the bond passed. It was good, that big, what was that questionnaire thing that went out, the survey that went out.
Patinkin Research Group and
Yeah,
all of that.
and our communications, our bond communications, Kyle, his payments come out of there until we were able to shift them to the actual bond. So that is why that had gone down. The drop for this year from 23-24 to 24-25 is one payment to Kyle because we couldn't put it on the bond because it hadn't been funded at that point. And according to the legal people on the bond, I had to go through a bunch of hoops to get that little amount covered by the bond dollars. So I'm just like, I think we can just leave it there. Made it seem like a real nightmare. So. All right, and then excise tax. We can see here that we, have been growing that, and it's kind of stabilized. There hasn't been anything that has been paid out of this fund in this 3-year look back. So, and yeah, I gave you that kind of 12-year look at what we've been collecting with that big bumper year of 21-22. And then down to the bottom of that page, we
I'd
have
just like to share also that the city is behind in terms of paying the excise tax. They're unsure as to what amount is they owe. So they're having to go back and try to recreate this document.
Okay, so we've had 3 fairly decent sized insurance claims in 24-25. The elementary school music room boiler pipe burst, and we had covered cost of $90,274, but $5,000 was out of pocket, which is that insurance reserve fund. And then the ceiling in the elementary school office, we had $14,707 covered by insurance, but again, $5,000 to that insurance fund. And then the biggest one was that, and it will be the biggest one, is that septic backup at Pioneer. The covered costs were $45,000, again, $5,000 out of pocket, but we still have anticipated about $80,000 that we're gonna have to pay on reconfiguring the whole septic drain system. Because they cover the damage that was done because of the issues, but not the repairs of the actual system that caused the damage. So,
I think the septic is original,
yeah, it was.
so,
Well, I was,
well, like 70
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So it's done well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Open over hundreds.
So you can see we had 15,000 at least out of pocket, and now we've got more. When we go to pay that 80,000, we're gonna pull the money out of that Midco FCA rental, because that's the location that it happened. So we're gonna pay as much as we have in there, and then we're gonna use building proceeds for the remainder of it to get it covered. So. The plan. And then the last thing I have here is that, on page 24, we have the calendar of events for the 26th, 27th preparation. The great thing is we have all of our budget committee members in place. Don't have anybody, hopefully nobody already gone from that. And we've matched up the dates with what we approved as far as the board meeting dates. So I think we're ready to go on that. And you, through the procedural appointment, that one of those is that I would be the budget, what is that title? Budget oversight? I don't know,
Yes.
budget person.
Yeah,
So
she's in charge.
I'll be here for budget.
so Karen, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So in regards to the sub cost, and
Mhm.
you got hit with a little bit bigger than expected this year. Have you figured out, like, is there a way to calculate, like, for a license that goes unpaid, leave Oregon, or classified, kind of what the estimated amount is if they go on that, or?
Well, I will say that we had quite a bit more on that were licensed,
Mhm.
and with the licensed, there is more cost in the sub pool because they have, although they adjust their salaries a big hunk of their salary they use for their sick leave. So they're using sick leave, they're getting paid. Whereas classified, they might do all of their leave as unpaid leave because it's all covered from paid leave Oregon. So that kind of balances itself out. It's more in the license where they have quite a bit that isn't covered through paid leave Oregon.
And we had, what did we have? 9 maternity and
Yes.
paternity leaves last year,
Yeah.
which is a lot for a district our size. So I'm hoping that we're not having that this year.
And they work it out that you haven't paid them this summertime.
No.
That's
They were that easy.
So, you know, it's just not this coming year, but next year it could be big again. So, you know, I mean, we have some young staff
Yeah, very
members,
good.
right? And,
Yeah.
and so
Mhm.
Karen and I have already talked about just maybe adding more to that, just
Yeah.
as a holding place, because it's gonna take us a few years to figure out what are the trends.
And we do have more allocated in the budget, but not to that, not to 480, 183,000. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't go the same way it went finally.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so for my report, you saw the executive order from the governor with regards to the cell phone issues. So Andrew is out of town. He'll be back next week. And Doug is off contract right now. I was poking around the high school today to kind of try to figure out how we might manage this. Because we don't have the money to purchase for those pouches called Yonder pouches or whatever. And what I've read is that kids are carrying Magnet around anyway, and they unlock their pouch. And so, you know, we purchased those cell phone cases. So I talked to Gus about maybe we could create some kind of system where those cases are in the main hallway by the office, where, you know, we create an appropriate traffic flow where kids can put their phone in there and they lock it, or they leave it in their car. And then, you know, because if you tell them that they can leave it in the backpack, they'll get it out when they're not supposed to have it. We can't have them be putting their cell phones in the case at each period because it says 7:30 to 3 o'clock when we get out. So they can't be carrying their phones. So, anyway, there'll be some logistical issues to work out and then a big, informational campaign about, to educate parents and students about what we're expecting. So, more to come on that and,
If they leave it in the car, they're able to go to the car and use it or no?
well, they can they have to check out with the office if they have to go to the car. And, you know,
Okay.
then someone would
So
ask, why
they
do you
just
need to
can't-
go to the car?
Yeah, you just, a student, I don't
Yeah,
know this,
they're
but
not
they-
just
they
gonna-
can't, they can't just walk out to the car during lunchtime or.
They don't
They're
open camps.
They don't have.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I don't know what Andrew and Jed will, you know, exactly how they're work out, but I think talking to Gus, I think that is maybe one possible solution. And, you know, we are still in the design phase of the high school. And so it might be that we have to create some space in the wall there at the office entryway where kids can be locking their phones right there in front of the cameras.
Almost like a post office box.
For sure. There's like 300. But you should go look at the little phone cases. They're very small. Gus and I figured we could get 12 of them on this rolling plywood. Yeah. Anyway, if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna go with design. Anyway. Let's see, the strategic plan is a discussion item. Okay, meetings with the city, it's also a discussion item. We'll talk about that later. And then Kelly, earlier you guys had asked about some return on investment information about how powerful are the mailed communications? How does that translate? And so if you look on page 20 of your packet, this is a flyer that Kelly put together for us in coordination with the other communication specialists. There's a whole formula that they use for how to calculate this out and seeing if it's panning out worthwhile. So for $1.04 per household per impression. So for just over $1 a time, you know, you're reaching 3,200 people every time we send a mailer out. So it is worth it because we're building on previous practice. I think one of the struggles we had with the bond is that people were just used to not getting anything from the district. And so, you know, we have to train them to be expecting communication. We've got some ideas about how we're going to tailor this a little bit, cut down on some of the costs for this coming year. But again, this is funded out of student investment account. So, no, I can't really use it for much else other than targeted efforts.
Will tell you just from speaking with community members who have approached me, they're really happy with getting information and they actually get it.
Wow.
And yes,
That's amazing.
yeah, I've had 5 people tell me that already.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, good. So,
So,
hopefully it'll become a thing, right? Well, people will be expecting, where is it? How come we, and, you know, we can grow on that. So I was happy that they were able to put that information together because I wonder too, it's a big check of money.
yeah, it is.
So, that is all I have for now. The rest is discussion and action.
Anything on board focus? Perfect. Consent item.
You'll notice that we did have one more layoff, reduction of workforce with, the person in the business office. So we needed to reduce the position by 1. So as it stands now, every department and building has had reduction to make this work.
That Grant guy, isn't he part of the, of
He-
Sue's group?
Yes, he got a job in a different district that's closer to where he lives.
Oh.
So
Oh,
we're sad to see him go.
is that gonna be hard to find?
Could be. Yeah, it's posted right now. So we'll see what happens.
Alright.
Creighton will take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
Creighton takes care of everything.
Put Creighton on it. Put Creighton on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I move that the Jervis District #1 Board of Directors approve the consent items as listed in Mass. 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, and 7.6.
Do I have a motion?
second.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Good job. Yeah, we're rolling along for you, we're rolling along. Action item, or, oh, we gotta do, oh, here comes the election.
Oh.
So 8.1 is an election of your board chair. What I would recommend is that you have Henry wrap up this meeting and then whoever is the new chair, because Henry can't be a chair again. He's already done it too many years in a row. And that person at the next meeting will take over. You can reelect him next year.
Okay, so I'm
You
sorry.
need to take a nomination. You need nominations for who would like to be the
Thank you.
chair.
Is there words on this somewhere?
Yeah.
We have any?
Can I just?
You can just,
Right,
Yeah, let's go.
I nominate that Jenny Jones be the, chair, the
Board
board chair.
For the
If you would
25,
like to
26.
do that.
So we have a nomination.
I second.
Oh, we have a second, so now all in favor.
I
Very good.
also nominate Henry Bustamante to be, vice chair.
I just want. Oh, yeah, I'll help.
It needs to be you.
Second.
That's great.
All right, so, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good.
Will be-
All right, Jane.
Oh, I have to take over now?
No,
I can do that.
Oh, no, I said,
we're on to 8.3 certification of the elections. It's on page 28.
What we were supposed to have last.
Yeah,
we're supposed
the
to,
Marion County Elections Office was a little behind.
So I need to make a motion on this one. That's weird. Okay. I move that the Jervis School District #1 Board of Directors approve certification of elections for Marion County as shown on agenda item 7-25-8.3.
we have a motion,
Second.
we have a second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're on to 8.4 correction of regular meeting calendar for next year. You'll see January 15th was highlighted in red. I was gonna try to make you meet on a Friday, so.
Wow,
Sandra said you probably wouldn't want to do that.
What page is that?
That is on page 38.
Thank you.
Oh. Struggle with that one.
There it is. So those two red ones are
Yes,
are those the ones being,
we'd already done the July 10th one. We corrected that at the first meeting at the meeting in June. But then, so January 15th is the second correction.
okay. Do I need to mention the corrections in the motion?
No.
Okay, then I move that the Jervis School District #1 of Directors approve the revised regular sessions meeting calendar for 2025 through 2026 as shown in action item 7-25-8.4.
We have a motion,
Second.
a second, more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Okay, now we're time for the bond update. So we'll call Scott up.
Yay.
While Scott's kind of making his way up, you'll see I included in the packet some drone shot footage of the roofing at the high school, the elementary school, and the track. Or the football field when it was getting the.
Oh,
extra
you took my
drain.
text and put it in there.
I love the.
But I get,
Still back there.
Yeah,
I get good photos. I text them to Dan. I didn't realize. Right back in there.
so go ahead, Scott.
All right, so I gave the board a bond update last meeting, and so we're not going to go over a full update here. More, we're making a change of direction, or making a recommendation for a change of direction. And we want to go over that with the school board. So you'll see this board note here. And to summarize, we're looking at doing a traditional hard bid, or just putting it out on the street for general bidders for the HVAC, the heating and air conditioning improvements at the elementary school. And that is that is different than what the board had approved back in 2023. So you have to go back a ways. The board had authorized the district to engage in a contract with McKinstry Ascension LLC. And their first phase of that contract was just really a study of to the schools, elementary and the high school. And they completed that study, and that study was the basis for the budgets and the scope in the bond issue that passed, as you know, in May of 24. After the bond passed, their contract was extended really kind of to the next phase, which was to do a design analysis of kind of a deeper dive, if you will, into those two systems. And so we worked with the school district to accomplish that. That contract extension was roughly August of last year. And they produced a report in December of last year. And that report showed their recommended improvements about twice of what their original budget recommendations were pre-bond. And so because you went out for a bond for the amount of the recommended budget, we couldn't increase it by that much. We couldn't double the budget. So we had some conversations over the winter break, and we brought them in January of this year and said, look, this is well in excess. Also, your original recommendations were before we had a bond, so we weren't sure necessarily what we were going to do. So we said, let's make a division here, and that the high school mechanical improvements, we're going to roll that into the renovations. Just because there's so many parts and pieces that we're renovating in the high school, it makes sense just to kind of keep that in those renovations, that overall renovation package, rather than having two different contractors and two different leaderships kind of in the same space. The elementary school, our modifications are much more minor. I know it doesn't look that way when you see the entirety of your roof being replaced, which is great. But it seemed like we could preserve that original intention and have them design the mechanical system replacement at the elementary school. So we preserved half of that agreement, and we gave them a budget that they hadn't hit, $1.85 million. So they said, okay, and then they proceeded. So they went through a design process, and they bid out the work in June. And they intimated a couple of weeks ago, they said, yeah, we're about 30 to 40% over budget on this reduced scope. And I should clarify that we suggested a different approach to the mechanical systems. I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I've seen enough of them in there to say a lot of their original estimate was consumed by sheet metal ductwork. So a lot of a very centralized system. So taking and generating air in just a couple spaces, but then a lot of ductwork to push it around the building. And we said, you know what, you need to go with more of a decentralized system so you have individual units, and you're not spending so much money on piping and ductwork, but you still have a centralized control system, but just not centralized units. So they bid that out, and then, as I said, they indicated that they were 30 to 40% over budget of the 1.85 million that we gave them, and we thought, okay, we need to call them in. So we actually met with them yesterday morning, and they were closer to 50% over budget. So our budget is 1.85 million, and that's all in. So that's not only the hard installation cost, but it's also the overhead and management and commissioning and all the other things that they do internally. And so that 1.85 million came in at approximately 2.75, so 900,000 over. They had given us a couple ideas that they haven't really vetted yet, but there's things that they're entertaining that might take that down to a range of somewhere between 2.4 and 2.65 million. So still, even if the best case scenario, 2.4, and usually my experience with value engineering is you kind of take part of them, but not really all of them because some of them aren't the right ideas. But even if we got down to 2.4, we're still sitting $550,000 over budget. So given where we're at, we also asked them who bid on the job. And because McKinstry likes to self-perform work, and that's fine. And I mean, they've done it before. But they McKinstry themselves won 66% of the work. So we do that internally rather than through subcontractors. They also are doing all of the soft costs or overhead work. So about 85 to 90% of the contract will go directly to McKinstry, and only about 10 to 15% to subcontractors. We asked who the mechanical subs, which are the biggest part of the construction, who bid on that. And there were only two mechanical contractors that bid on it against McKinstry. So McKinstry came third. And one of them has done 2 school projects, and the other one has done none. And I could rattle off for you 8 mechanical contractors that do lots of school projects, and none of them participated. So I'm concerned about whether or not we truly got a good wide lens of competition that's knows how to do this. And especially since this isn't work we're trying to still get done this summer. This is work for next year. So none of the people we work with would be overloaded right now because it's next year. So we should have a lot of participation because a lot of contractors like the idea of having a backlog. Oh, I know I've got work for next year. That's great, So given kind of all of those factors, the just being over budget, not really feeling we're getting good competition, and most of the work going to the same individual rather than subcontractors, we thought it might be better to pause their contract or suspend it until such time that we, R&C, would actually, for the district, go and bid out the work to mechanical subcontractors, calling them ahead of time too. I call, various subcontractors that I know have done, 10 schools with me. Hey, this is going out on the street. I need to look at it. Seriously, I need you to bid it. And, we would do that. And like I said, I've got about 8 in mind. So, and see if we can't drive that cost down, and get somebody that's experienced working in a school. And so we would like to, the recommendation is to, again, suspend the McKinstry contract for now, go ahead and hard bid that, see where that comes in at, and then come to the board after we bid that out, collected that data and said, here's where we're at, and we would like to do, X, Y, Z. In all likelihood, that would be awarding this work to someone else, because I'm confident the price will be driven down, but then also giving McKinstry the opportunity as the engineer of record to potentially do the construction administration, which is monitoring the installation. That's actually a legal criteria that the architect or engineer of record actually monitors the work. I mean, we do too, and you've got commissioning agents. You've got a variety of people that do it, but the engineer or architect of record typically monitors the construction. If they're not interested in that smaller piece of this overall, then we have other options as well. We can bring in a mechanical engineer. What they do is they review the design, they stamp it, and they own it, and they do the construction administration. So, and it would be for a similar price. So, but we would probably entertain that option at that time once we bid it out. We see what that data is to make an informed award approach. I don't feel we have enough data right now to simply just somehow come up with at least $550,000 and make an award to these folks at this time. It doesn't feel like we've got all the data that we should have, I think, to make an informed award. So
Have you previously worked with McKinstry before?
I worked with them on 2 occasions. One was in Dallas School District. That was the more recent one. So.
And did you see any of this kind of things that happened? Because it's like that's a huge jump from the beginning. I mean, it's so basically I'm asking what that track record is. You're familiar with that?
Yes, in both the cases that I worked with them on, we refined the scope down after their initial analysis to just what we call energy efficient projects, because that's really where their expertise lies, is in energy efficiency, not in sort of these holistic HVAC replacements, or at least that's been my experience. They will come up with energy efficiency measures or energy conservation measures, because that is the nature of the work. It's an energy performance systems contract. And they'll identify this as a 3-year payback and a 5-year payback and maybe a 20-year payback or whatever. And we'll look at those, and then, with the district and all, we'll look at it and go, you know what, let's draw the line here and just do these. So it may be things that are just helping to reduce your energy usage, but not necessarily full system replacement. Your elementary school is a whole system replacement, as you all, I heard what you're talking about with Pioneer and the sanitary. This one's not much better. Your boilers, it's kind of.
It's an old building.
It is, and the boilers.
And
So, yeah.
Has been.
Mhm.
They're still working on numbers, which is fine
Yep.
and good.
Yes.
But I do feel that it would be your due diligence to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because if we hadn't, or if their original one in December was not so over budget, they would have continued with that design, bid it out, and we'd be doing that work this summer. So instead, because it was over budget, they had to go a different direction. And as such, they had to increase the electrical service, which is a long lead item. Everything just kind of pushed out a year. So we've got that kind of pounding the problem. So I'd like to not, my recommendation would be to not sort of languish over running numbers with them for another 6 months and not get it done until summer 27.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So how much have they charged us to do what they've done,
Design.
their design?
Yeah, you've bought the design about roughly, how much have we paid out? About 300? Yes. Yeah, about 300,000, which is about equal what you'd pay for design, sure, for sure.
And those are our designs.
And we own the design. Yeah, I would be putting that design out on the street. I mean, I take a look at it, confirm a couple things, but yeah, we definitely don't want to throw that away, the 300,000 you spent. We want to take that design we own, put that out on the street to known mechanical contractors to do the job.
No, so good that you're keeping
Yeah. no,
real good tab on this.
Yes, yes. All right,
Yeah.
do we need to do
So-
something on this?
So, yeah, I would recommend, because you had done much items earlier in the year previously, I would recommend that you make a motion.
Yeah, you are sort of unawarding a portion of the work, or at least suspending.
So there is some language on the back side.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We're going
Ran to
forward.
the second side here.
The board of directors approves the suspension in part of whole of the work of the Peachtree Ascension LLC for HVAC improvements at the Jervis Elementary School and authorizes traditional bidding of the work through Jervis School District directly with the intent of evaluating the final award approach after this effort.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. Thank you.
Nice
Thank you.
work.
Yes.
Thank you. So we'll probably get this out on the street in a couple weeks. We'll put an advertisement out and that kind of thing, and then we will probably leave it open, a bid period open for a month, a solid month, rather than rushing through it. And we'll have 2 pre-bid walks. So giving contractors a couple times to walk through the building, really understand it, do all the takeouts they want, and really hone a good price. The shorter we make that, the more they sort of want to throw in a swag, if you will, or a little bit of extra. So by giving them a little bit more time, they can really dial in that bid and feel very comfortable about what they're doing.
But our intent is still for 2 months summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the one item that was a long lead item, the electrical service gear, if we still need to do that, and I suspect we will, and it's actually not a bad idea because your electrical service gear is in old shape, would be to either have Kirby buy it because they're doing early procurement packages. You just piggyback on them, so that it's an owner furnished contractor installed piece of equipment. Or we're actually looking at how we can break those out into 3 components that are all very short lead times. And so rather than, without getting too technical, like the meter, the cannon, and the service gear all being one piece, which is a custom fabrication that takes longer, just buy them as 3 individual pieces, and each one's quicker on the shelf. Takes up a little bit more room, but
Yeah.
it's quicker. So we have options there, so I'm not worried about that.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Okay, so, the roofing is close to being done at the elementary school. You can see that they've torn everything off. And now they're going through and putting the actual roof on. They decided to do it that way so that they were not, because the weather was good, and they would be walking over newly installed shingles to replace other ones. So they tore it all off and slapped it on there, and, so far, there's only been kind of 1 change order, which was having to adding some extra plywood on that, so that was good. And the high school is moving rapidly, and we can see all the work there. And so when are we starting the gym roof? That's next week.
That's what's next.
Yes, yeah, so it should, they know that they need to be all tidied up and done by August 15th. Right? On the gym.
On the gym by the
Yeah.
15th, correct. I think all roofing by the
Right.
22nd.
So it's on track and we're happy with that.
Yeah.
And then the turf field will start being laid in theory on Monday. And I think they have another project that they're supposed to be out doing August 1st, so we can have that done.
Get done.
very quickly.
Amazing.
There's some turf out there right now at the softball infield. be finished up Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll start the football Monday. Or that crew right over, so. Caney Excavating, that's local, that's under Sudbury Prep, amazing contractor, I would use them every day of the week. They're just doing a fantastic job, I mean, they were out there at 5:15, still pushing rock.
Yeah, they're still out here rolling. One guy's
So I mean,
still rolling.
football practice can actually start on the. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's
True.
exciting.
We
So
vibrated
exciting.
for a couple of weeks, we're like, oh, we're not earthquake.
I don't know.
Sports Fest will be that last week of July, 28th to the 31st, and we already have the turf in place, so, or we'll have the turf in place by then, yeah, it's by
That's
That is so
exciting.
cool.
Tickle.
Yes.
I know.
ribbon cutting the 13th of.
Yeah.
So,
That'll be a great visual.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
So that's all I have about the bond, unless you had any other questions. So I included draft goals or draft performance measures and indicators for our strategic plan. So as you're aware, we keep the goals as the same and then just change how we're gonna get there and who's in charge of it. So I didn't know if there was any feedback for me. The one thing I did want to point out is that it was really interesting. Independently, each group started talking about the importance of attendance. Right, the idea is like it doesn't matter what we're doing. If kids are not here, we're not going to make any progress. And so each of them built in an attendance component in terms of how are we going to meet this goal. So there were about 20 people that participated in the crafting of these ideas and how we were going to get there on that day right after school got out. Some really smart people like in the trenches that work every day in your buildings. And so I think that they really are understanding where they're at, where kids are at, and what are the next steps we need to keep pushing the work forward. So again, what I would recommend is in the fall of 2027, I think we should go out and do community engagement again, kind of what we did this first time for this plan, so that you can then reset the plan because you'll have a new superintendent that next June. You'll build, your construction will be all done. And so it'll be a good jumping off point. So I've got about 2 years left with this plan. Not that I'm counting.
Your contract's at another 5.
No, I'm sorry, I have a cruise book from January of 2029. So Kelly, our communication person, is already working up on a draft of the new strategic plan. She's doing really great things with it. So really, we're about ready to go to press on that. We just have to make sure that you're okay with the goals, and we're done. It's great. It's really great having her on staff. Helps a lot. Okay, board training for August. So we talked about not having OSBA come in, but maybe just doing something more in-house. And so I got onto the OSBA website and highlighted a few of the trainings that I thought were particularly relevant for the board. All of these are webinars or video of slide deck presentations they gave. So we could highlight a few of these, and then I could also go through and create like a one-page summary of the key takeaways that you should have. And we can talk about it in August. And then in September, you could sign off on your assurances that you've had the chance to look at the videos or the PowerPoints, that you had an opportunity to ask me questions, that I've highlighted some things that, are particularly areas you can get yourself in trouble in as a board, do's and don'ts, that kind of thing. And then it would also tie into the reviewing of your goals. We'll do that in September. How did that go? And then we'll do that in August with training, and then in September you'll set new goals. So, and then I had given Leah a book, and also had given her some, copies of board policy that are specific to board members, roles and duties and responsibilities, so she is getting some individualized training so that she's just not left out there like I was.
The conference stuff it's in August,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, the one in Bend, that's the one.
It's
No,
in
it's in
Salem.
Salem.
They don't
Salem
go to
now,
Bend
that's
anymore.
right.
It's really great. Like,
Yeah,
they're really good and they're really helpful and I was really happy that I went.
I
because
am
it-
interested in actually going.
Yeah.
I definitely want to take advantage of all those.
Okay.
I'm up for it. I'm in.
Yeah, and you get to meet other board members from all over and it's good. So I
Awesome.
really recommend it.
Okay, that's good.
I'll have Sandra connect with you to see about if you want to go the whole time or just part of the time or whatever, and she'll get you registered.
And on the highlighted ones
Yes.
that you did, are you suggesting that we're maybe do all of them? Or are you suggesting like two?
I
Or like
think that, there's one.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I think that, I will go through and make a one pager that kind of covers the top things of these 4 highlighted ones. But then if there's one that you're like, oh, I'm not, I think that maybe I need to click on that and view it again. You know, have at it.
Sure.
But I don't think, I mean, some of them are like 90 slides long. So I don't think. But, you know, maybe you want to review public meetings, the do's and don'ts again.
Well, the very last one, reporting.
Well, yeah, you will have to
We
do
have
the
to do
reporting at the required annual training. And that's separate from OSBA.
Mhm.
And so maybe you want to wait until in August, when I come through with the kind of one pager highlighting the takeaways, that then there might be something there that you find, oh, I would like to know more about that. That's the one I'm gonna watch.
Like already, I like the governance one.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
The effective leadership. one.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, for our public meetings, we rarely have.
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or speaking, so I was like, but, and the effective, meetings
Mhm.
ones, you have the packet set up so well that, yeah. So I see maybe the
Okay.
first 2 as being
Yeah,
beneficial in my opinion, but if somebody else has.
Right, and you don't have to do
Yeah.
the same trainings. You can do
So.
different ones.
Yeah.
But the idea that I will highlight the
And
big points, then you can sign off saying, yes,
Mm-hmm.
we participated in training.
I like
But these are online that we can just go out of our own due diligence
Yep,
and just watch them, right?
Yep,
Okay.
if you go to OSB website, it's at the bottom graphic. Look at my resources, member webinars and board development, it lists all of those things there.
their website, like, pretty good.
Yeah.
And you can find just so much on there, so
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, I'll work on that for August then. And then the final thing is a joint meeting with Jervis City Council and Jervis School District. So when I met with the interim city manager last week, I guess it was, Rick, he said that there was interest from the city council about maybe having a joint meeting together in October. And so I said I would bring it to you. I do not know if they're proposing a date. So I'm assuming they're not going to want to tag it onto our board meeting, but I guess I don't know that for sure. So do you want me, like, I just need direction. Are you interested in doing
What's
that?
the purpose of us having a joint
I
meeting
think,
together?
well, if you recall way back when, wait, you might not have been on the board of that. I think my second year I tried to do a couple of joint meetings. So it was the idea of we're visiting like common purpose. How can the district and the city work together?
I
Or can
100,
they help, or can we help?
Yeah.
Things like that.
I 100% think that we should do that.
Yeah.
And we need to start mending,
Mhm.
as many, things as possible and as quickly, here in Jervis,
Yeah, of
because
course.
we
It was
need
nice
a
to see
very,
that,
you know,
Mhm.
we need a functioning city council that is gonna
Yes.
work with our school board.
Yeah, it's good. So do they have, so all of them, they're involved in new
They're
city
all
members? They're all.
Yeah,
new?
they're all.
They're all new.
Oh, so they're all.
Right.
Cool. I'm assuming we'll set an invitation to the cuttings and things like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, they'll have invitations to all of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invite them, obviously, to the parent or the community guest speaker night when the interim police chief came and talked about National Night Out. I had talked to the interim city manager the week before that and said we would be willing to help. I offered. So, they're receptive. So we can try to get a couple of meeting dates and
Yeah.
we can label it as a work session, and if you can come, great. If you can't, that's understandable because everybody's busy, but it would be important to try to get as many people there as possible.
Which meeting was it that you had suggested that we go to? There was something.
So it's this one coming up, yeah.
No.
The one for.
Oh, I have, next Wednesday, there's an economic development
Yes.
work session, so I will be going, as a representative of the district. I don't know what time it is yet. I think it's either 6 or 7 o'clock. So I'll get confirmation of that. If anybody else is able to go, that I'm sure would be welcome by the city. So you can text me or email me once I get the time, so I'll send those to you, and if anybody wants to join, let me know. Yeah.
What time?
It's
Sorry,
probably
you-
6 or 7. I don't know for sure. I haven't gotten my invitation.
And this is regarding, the, what was that,
The economic development workshop or work session is what they're doing.
They're thinking of moving the boundary out.
I think there's all sorts of things that they have to address that, and I am assuming that's one of them. I know that they are actually out of compliance with ORS, so not having enough buildable land in town.
Oh.
It's a statute.
I was shocked to know about this one over here, that,
Mhm.
that came out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
At least I mean, in the past, I've attended several of the meetings, but I'm gonna try and be there. with you.
Okay, so I'll get the details nailed down tomorrow. I would think that they're probably finalizing it tonight for city council.
Yeah.
So I'll check. I can go from there. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's all I have.
Cool.
Very good.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good work meeting.
It's all-